The moment the Chang'e 6 probe began transmitting its first deep subsurface readings, an uneasy stillness settled over China's lunar research teams. This wasn't the celebratory silence that follows a successful maneuver. It was the kind that creeps in when data refuses to behave as expected. Engineers watched streams of numbers scroll across their screens, each line contradicting decades of lunar models. Density values were wrong. Magnetic responses were wrong. Even the way the signals reflected back from beneath the surface felt deliberate. Chang'e 6 had been designed for something no previous mission attempted in detail: penetrating analysis of the Moon's far side, a region permanently hidden from Earth. This hemisphere had always been considered geologically quiet, scarred by ancient impacts but largely inert. That assumption shattered within hours. The probe's instruments detected repeating subsurface patterns buried kilometers beneath the regolith. These were not random fractures or lava tubes. They were ordered, structured, too consistent to be natural. At first, mission scientists assumed instrumental drift or interference from solar radiation. Calibration routines were run repeatedly. Each time, the results returned unchanged. As additional scans layered over the initial data, a shape began to emerge, not a single object but a network. Straight corridors. Angular intersections. Symmetry that defied every known lunar formation process. Then came the material signatures. Chang'e 6 detected metallic concentrations beneath the crust, but not in forms seen in meteorites or natural lunar alloys. The elements were bound in configurations that do not occur without controlled manufacturing. Even more unsettling was their distribution, evenly spaced, repeating with mathematical precision. Images followed. Grainy, incomplete, filtered through layers of stone, yet unmistakable. Perfect angles carved where chaos should reign. Curves aligned with exact ratios. Patterns that echoed engineering logic rather than geological chance. Quietly, without any dramatic announcement, Chinese researchers realized they were looking at something built. Before we go further, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more updates as this story continues to unfold. The signals that triggered global concern originated beneath an enormous crater on the far side, a region previously dismissed as unremarkable. From that location came faint oscillations, rhythmic pulses that repeated at steady intervals. They weren't noise. They weren't seismic echoes. They behaved like a system still holding coherence after unimaginable spans of time. When thermal sensors were cross-checked, another anomaly surfaced. The buried structure emitted trace heat, far too little to suggest activity, yet too consistent to be explained by residual lunar warmth. Decay implies prior energy. Prior energy implies function. That realization rippled outward fast. If these formations were artificial, then they were older than human civilization. Older than recorded history. Possibly older than life on Earth itself. The Moon, humanity's closest cosmic companion, was no longer just a silent satellite. It was a container. A vault. China released only minimal information, focusing strictly on instrumentation and data verification. But within days, leaks appeared. Analysts outside official channels began reconstructing the scans. What they saw was not a single installation, but a grid-like system stretching far beyond the initial detection zone. Geophysicists revisited decades-old lunar data and noticed something chilling. Long-standing density anomalies inside the Moon aligned perfectly with the newly discovered structures. Gravitational irregularities once dismissed as quirks suddenly looked intentional. The Moon's uncanny orbital stability, its synchronous rotation, even its disproportionate size compared to Earth all resurfaced as questions no longer safely answered by coincidence. Old Apollo seismic data was pulled from archives. Astronauts had once described the Moon as ringing like a bell after impacts. At the time, it was chalked up to unusual internal composition. Now, some wondered whether that ringing had been energy traveling through an internal framework hidden from view. Chang'e 6 continued its scans, revealing chambers branching outward from a central region. Some cavities were spherical, arranged in repeating sequences, as if designed to store something or regulate energy. The walls appeared fused seamlessly with lunar rock, suggesting construction methods that merged material at a molecular level. Metallurgists studying the composition were stunned. The alloys showed extreme resistance to radiation, temperature swings, and mechanical stress. Even degraded, the material outperformed anything humanity could currently engineer. The question no one wanted to voice yet hung over every lab and observatory. If something like this existed beneath the Moon, who put it there, and why? The deeper scientists pushed into Antarctica's hidden underworld, the clearer it became that the subglacial lake was not alone. Advanced scanners revealed networks of underground channels connecting multiple buried basins beneath the ice. What had once been thought of as an isolated pocket of water was now understood to be part of a vast subterranean system stretching across the continent. Mineral-rich water flowed through these channels like rivers beneath the ice, carrying heat and chemical energy across enormous distances. Under ultraviolet sensors, certain compounds emitted faint glows, similar to reactions seen near deep-sea hydrothermal vents. This suggested Antarctica's interior could support large-scale ecosystems entirely independent of the surface. Tiny autonomous drones sent into narrow fissures captured astonishing footage. Translucent ice formations rose like frozen towers, threaded with metallic veins. In some chambers, the water itself glimmered with bioluminescent pulses. These flashes were not random. They appeared synchronized, spreading through the cavern in rhythmic waves. When researchers compared the timing of these light pulses to the magnetic anomalies, the match was nearly perfect. This raised an extraordinary possibility. Life beneath the ice might not merely tolerate electromagnetic fields, but actively use them. A form of biology integrated with planetary energy itself. Microbiologists studying the organisms made another disturbing discovery. These microbes could repair genetic damage at astonishing speeds. Under stress, their genomes reorganized rapidly, adapting within hours. Even more strange, separated populations appeared to respond to changes in each other when linked only by electromagnetic fields. Though not yet proven, the idea that these organisms could communicate without chemical signals challenged fundamental assumptions about life. Meanwhile, surface measurements showed the ice above the caverns subtly rising and falling in sync with the activity below. Heat from the subsurface altered the ice, which then fed stress back into the system. Antarctica was behaving less like a static ice sheet and more like a living, breathing structure maintaining balance. One night, sensors recorded a sudden surge of light beneath the ice. Cameras revealed the entire cavern glowing for hours, as radiation levels and magnetic activity spiked simultaneously. It looked like a sunrise beneath the frozen continent. The event suggested a deep connection between geological energy and biological response. Some scientists began to theorize that Antarctica's hidden systems were linked to a broader network of electromagnetic currents flowing through Earth's crust. These currents might influence not only geology, but life itself. In this view, the organisms beneath the ice were not isolated oddities, but participants in a planetary process. The psychological effect on the research team was intense. Reports of vivid dreams and unexplained vibrations inside the ice camps became common. While likely natural, the experiences reinforced a sense that the environment was active, aware, and profoundly ancient. Further drilling revealed symmetrical formations deep in the bedrock, circular structures with hollow interiors that reflected seismic waves in unusual ways. Metallic elements associated with meteorites were concentrated around them. One theory suggested a massive ancient impact whose buried core still radiated heat, sustaining the underground world above it. Atmospheric scientists detected rare gases escaping through fissures, isotopes normally found deep in the mantle or exposed to cosmic radiation. Antarctica appeared to be slowly releasing remnants of Earth's earliest history, long sealed beneath ice. In the final phase of the season, seismic instruments recorded a deep resonance pulsing from miles below. Its frequency aligned with Earth's natural electromagnetic vibration, known as the Schumann resonance. It was as if signals from within the planet were synchronizing with the space above it. As the expedition prepared to withdraw, an unusually strong aurora lit the Antarctic sky. Its magnetic footprint aligned perfectly with the subterranean pulses below. The hidden world beneath the ice had echoed into the heavens. What scientists uncovered was not just a lake, or a signal, or a strange organism. It was a reminder that Earth still holds vast secrets beneath its surface. Antarctica is not merely frozen and silent. Beneath the ice, something ancient continues to move, adapt, and endure. And humanity